Hi, Cowcat. Did you hear that NASCAR on Reddit called us cringy?
No, Bandwagon Kid, I can't say I'm very concerned about what NASCAR on Reddit has to say about us anymore. Besides, IndyCar's starting back up, and frankly, I'm just happy to have some racing back that doesn't require competition cautions.
Wait! IndyCar? Hang on, I gotta change.
Oh no. Let me guess, you're one of those Hunter Ray fans who only watched the 2014 Indy 500 because Kurt Busch was in it, and then bandwagoned onto him because he won the race?
No, I swear, I'm a true fan. Ask me anything about Ryan, I know it all.
Alright, I'll bite. What was Ryan Hunter Ray's first win?
Well, that's easy. His first win came in 2003 at Surfers Paradise. He was driving for American Spirit Johansson. I think it was a Reynard chassis and a Ford Cosworth engine.
Wow. Touché. Well, Bandwagon Kid, I guess you won't be needing the Bandwagoner's Guide to IndyCar then. So who do you think's gonna win St. Pete?
Ryan Hunter Ray?
Did you pick him just because he's your favorite, or because he's the only driver you know? I thought so. Well, if you like one driver or you like them all, sit back and enjoy a Bandwagoner's Guide to the 2017 IndyCar season.
We'll start our guide with the confirmed teams and drivers for the 2017 Verizon IndyCar Series season. Then we'll move on to speculative entries for the 2017 Indianapolis 500 and some season predictions from yours truly. Having earned the number one as the national champion, Simon Pagenaud had a dominant 2016 season, taking home 5 victories, the most of any driver. Interestingly enough, despite already having an IndyCar championship to his name, Pagenaud has yet to score a victory on an oval track. With the Aero Kit regulations freeze, Penske and Chevrolet are looking to be just as dominant as they were in 2016. Pagenaud may be the odds-on favorite to double up his IndyCar championship. Throughout this season, Pagenaud's sponsors will alternate between PPG Automotive Finishes, Hewlett-Packard Enterprise, and Menards. Joseph Newgarden, aka the biggest domino in the IndyCar offseason, landed unsurprisingly at Team Penske. For this season, Newgarden replaces the aging Juan Pablo Montoya full-time in the number 2 car. Last year, Joseph Newgarden took a gutsy victory at the Iowa Speedway with a broken collarbone sustained in an awful crash at Texas Motor Speedway. And if the rumor mill is to be believed, the first American to drive for Team Penske since Sam Hornish Jr. has attracted an old sponsor to the side pods of the number 2. As rumor has it, Miller Lite will be back on the side pods of the car for the Indianapolis 500. All eyes will be on Newgarden and top flight equipment to see if this man can take the championship in his first season with Team Penske. Winless since 2014, Helio Castroneves is still chasing the elusive IndyCar championship that has eluded him his entire career. Castroneves is also looking for his record-tying 4th Indy win this year. The look at the number 3 Penske will alternate between Rev, Hitachi, Tripoli, and for the Indianapolis 500, unfortunately no Helio submarine this year. We're stuck with the Shell V-Power Nitro Plus logos. Connor Daly returns to the team that gave him his very first IndyCar start in 2013, AJ Foyt Racing. For the first time since 2005, the Foyt team will be powered by Chevrolet engines and aero kits. And with the new driver pairing of Daly and Carlos Munoz, the Foyt team is expected to take a large jump in performance. Mainstream America was introduced to James Hinchcliffe this fall when he premiered and finished second on Dancing with the Stars. If prizes were awarded to drivers for the biggest increase in merchandise sales, the mayor of Hinchtown would likely win this year. Sponsorship worries almost kept Mikhail Aloshin from returning to Schmidt-Peterson Motorsports this year. Thankfully, the money issue is seemingly resolved, and the Mad Russian, whose driving style wowed fans last year, can hopefully take his very first IndyCar victory. Last year, Max Chilton successfully made the transition from F1 racer to IndyCar racer. His F1 experience will hopefully help him learn his second car in 2 years in IndyCars, as Chip Ganassi Racing made arguably the biggest offseason move by switching from Chevrolet to Honda cars for this year. Gone are the target bullseyes for IndyCar's most successful active driver, Scott Dixon. Dixon's performance will be the first true test of Honda's unloved aero kit and how competitive it can be versus Chevrolet. While a true replacement sponsor for Target has not yet been announced, several Target-era sponsors are expected to adorn Dixon's car this year. For St. Petersburg, it's GE LED lighting along with NTT data. And while it's still speculation, you can expect Coke and Cessna to probably be on Dixon's car later on this year. But the true replacement for Target is rumored to be also in the retail sector, and no, it's not Kmart. Word on the street is that Amazon will come on full-time for Scott Dixon at some point this year. And if this rumor is indeed true, it's ironic that a web-based superstore is taking the place of a big-box retailer. Tony Kanaan may be one of the few drivers switching from Chevrolet to Honda that's actually happy about the move. As Kanaan's one of the best super speedway drivers in the series, the Honda is perhaps the best performing car on the super speedways. More happy news for TK this year came in the form of a reuniting with longtime sponsor 7-Eleven for 4 races this season. Look for TK to be a serious contender to take his second Indianapolis 500 win. What else needs to be said about Will Power's talent at this point? Despite missing the season opening race last year at St. Petersburg, Will Power went on a tear with a highlight of winning the Pocono 500 en route to a close second in the championship. It's hard to expect anything less than a championship run from Will Power. It will be fascinating to see what Carlos Munoz can do finally as he becomes a lead driver for the AJ Foyt team. With the switch of Ganassi to Honda, Graham Rahal may no longer be the sole Honda driver consistently waving their flag at the front of the field. Steak and Shake, Penn Grade Motor Oil, and United Rentals all return as sponsors for Rahal this year. Oriol Servia has a partial season deal for the second Rahal car. He'll be driving for the team at the Indianapolis 500 and both of the Detroit Dual races. Sebastian Bourdais made the jump back to Dale Coyne Racing after his team, KEV, closed their doors during the offseason. Bourdais' ride is partially funded by Honda, who wanted the 4-time champion back on their side. Ed Jones is the reigning Indy Lights champion and the only true rookie for the full-time IndyCar series. He's also the first IndyCar driver to ever hail from the United Arab Emirates. Ed Carpenter is back in his own car on the oval tracks. The road course driving duties for the number 20 car will be handed to Spencer Pigot, the 2015 Indy Lights champion. Pigot raced for Ed Carpenter Racing in the second half of last season, and while it's not confirmed, Pigot is expected to make his lone oval start of the year at the Indianapolis 500 driving the Ed Carpenter Racing number 6. After 3 years of one-off rides and test driving duties for Ed Carpenter Racing, J.R. Hildebrand has finally gotten his second chance. Hildebrand's story will be another fascinating one to watch this season. What a difference a year makes for Juan Pablo Montoya, who's been given the Al Unser Sr. deal at Team Penske, with an unprecedented one-off 5th entry for Team Penske at this year's Indianapolis 500. If you believe the rumors, the captain is saving a spot for Juan Pablo at his new IMSA prototype team for next season. An optimist might say Takuma Sato is at the best ride of his IndyCar career, while a pessimist may say he's failing upwards. Regardless of your personal feelings, it will be fascinating to see what Takuma Sato can do in Andretti Autosport equipment. Marco Andretti will be coached this year by 2-time Indy 500 winning race strategist and car owner Brian Herta, who moves from Alexander Rossi's pit box to Marco's. Can Herta's winning ways finally turn the Andretti luck around? Ryan Hunter-Reay was winless in 2016, but if not for bad luck, he would have swept the 500-mile races. Expect RHR to be back with a vengeance in 2017. Englishman Jay Howard will drive the number 77 collaboration between Sam Schmidt and Tony Stewart for the Indianapolis 500. Howard hasn't driven an IndyCar in competition since 2011. If you look up sneaky fast in the dictionary, there's a picture of Charlie Kimball. Don't be surprised if Kimball takes at least one victory this year. Defending Indianapolis 500 champion Alexander Rossi will be looking to build upon the success of last year's season. His sponsor in that now iconic race, Napa Auto Parts, has stepped up in a huge way with Alexander Rossi, utilizing him at both corporate events and nationally run advertisements. And though they won't be on the car at all rounds, Napa has made it very clear that they support Alexander Rossi and IndyCar. Longtime Brian Herta Autosport sponsor Castrol will pick up the sponsorship for the remaining races. So now that we've taken a look at the 25 confirmed car and driver combinations for the 2017 IndyCar season, let's take a look at 8 prospective entries for the 101st Indianapolis 500 to get the field to its traditional 33 starters. Longtime IndyCar crew chief Larry Curry, who was with Lazier Racing last year, has managed to put together a program for Gabby Chavez out of the Dreyer and Reinbold Racing Shop. Curry has managed to acquire Chevy's engine and aero kit, and while Chavez has shown flashes of brilliance, he's never driven a Chevy before. This brand new team's pace will be interesting to watch. Speaking of Dreyer and Reinbold Racing, the Indy-only team will be back again this year with the driver they had last year, Sage Karam. This car-driver combination was blisteringly fast last year, and I wouldn't be surprised to see it running at the front once again. Andretti Autosport is back with their traditional 5th entry. The driver is also expected to be a return, Townsend Bell, who showed race-winning pace last year, only to get eliminated from competition in a pit lane accident with teammate Ryan Hunter-Reay. This will be one of the cars to watch for victory at Indianapolis. While Dale Coyne Racing and Pippa Mann are set to make their 5th consecutive start together. It's not just drivers moving up from Indy Lights this year, it's teams too. Yuncoast Racing bought 3 Dallara chassis from the defunct KV Racing organization and is looking set to bring 2 rookies to Indianapolis for the 500. Kyle Kaiser is an Indy Lights veteran who, if all things go well, will be making his very first IndyCar appearance at the Indianapolis 500. And yes, the second Yuncoast car is rumored to be going to former F1 driver Pastor Maldonado. And while Maldonado has a negative stigma attached to his name, he does have a single Grand Prix win at the 2012 Spanish Grand Prix. It will be interesting to see if this combination happens, how Maldonado can get going on the oval tracks. 1996 Indianapolis 500 champion Buddy Lazier is expected to continue his nearly 3-decade career at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway this year, again with his own team. Unfortunately, again, it looks like IndyCar will struggle to get to 33 entries for this year's Indianapolis 500. The 33rd car will most likely come out of the Schmidt-Peterson Motorsports entry as a 4th car. However, teams like Dale Coyne Racing, AJ Foyt, and even maybe Ganassi could be pressed into entering an extra car if the funds were made available. Alright, some season predictions, and you guys at home are welcome to play along down in the comments below. For the Indianapolis 500, I'm predicting that Scott Dixon will take his 2nd victory in the great race. I fully expect it will be an amazing battle between Tony Kanaan, Ryan Hunter-Reay, Will Power, and Scott Dixon. But Dixon will be the one to come out on top at the end of the day. And for the IndyCar champion, I'm not taking the obvious choice of Simon Pagenaud. No, I'm taking Will Power. My reasoning? He missed a race last year and still finished 2nd in the championship. Assuming he makes all of the rounds this year, I think Will Power will cruise to his 2nd IndyCar World Championship. So thank you guys so much for watching the Bandwagoner's Guide to IndyCar 2017. I put a lot of effort into these videos, a lot of research, so please, if you did enjoy it, hit the like button and also hit the subscribe button. I'm planning on doing this for many more motorsports and motorsports events throughout the year. So thank you guys so much for watching once again. This has been David Land on YouTube. Enjoy IndyCar 2017, and we'll see you in the next video.